Welcome, dudes. Welcome. And dudettes. Okay, so, cool stuff. I'm checking out this video. It's by Forgotten Fossils. Forgotten Fossils, I don't know your name, sir. Very cool place. Somewhere in England. But I was watching this video and lots of interesting things, so I kind of opened my recorder and then sat here looking some more, and here I am hitting record. So I'm just clicking through to see what we can find along the way. Found this. I was looking here, maybe there's subtle curvatures. It doesn't really have distinguishable flow here. But there is this, like, inline here, which is kind of interesting. So I wonder, like, if this layer here were to physically be peeled back and, like, the under layer, maybe it flows more, like, in that way. There's also systems on the side here, which we'll get to more interesting things at the end of this video. So he's just, going through fossils. I'm just looking for anything interesting to me that I really feel is of note, and there's definitely lots of things here. What I really found, like, captivating was actually when he goes to his drone view. Here, let's go here. I was playing it literally at 25 speed. Okay, 0.25. Okay, so here we're just flying along. I'm just taking note of the terrain. Like, there appears to be, in other instances, some sort of physically hard overlayer shell, and then like a softer material between, maybe. And then those, like, that overlayer doesn't just happen once, it seems to happen repetitively. And in this instance here, it reminded me, yesterday I was talking about the blocks that, like, break apart and would have an arc to them. This whole region right here is arced. And then this here, it has an arc to it. And then it goes across over this region that has a spill down. And then it has here, there's like a bulb. Something like a node visible here. And even maybe with a, like, dark light, dark surrounded by light. Maybe light surrounded by dark, like a yin yang, like positive, negative nodes of some kind of energy that happened here that physically is at this layer's boundary atop it, that then maybe even has other energetic things like a node and a node counter or some kind of separation region. Like, this is real, like, the curvature of that, it almost looks like I'm not saying it is. I'm in no way suggesting it is. I'm just saying, like, its curvature and its structure almost looks like a castle wall that, like, is physically curved in terms of just how pristine it looks at being this curved, like, textured structure. It's incredible. Smoothly curved, which essentially what I'm getting at is, like, these are shallogram and ammonite features to a scale where this is happening right there. like it's visible right there. There's an example immediately in this video that I just click of like look how incredible. Thanks guys. I know that I just click. It's all like set up. You guys are like, okay, here's the video that we're gonna pop in his YouTube queue. Okay, clicked it. He clicked it. I skipped that one. He will not listen. What are we gonna do? Okay, next video. Okay, what's the next idea, guys? He's not looking at that one, Tim. He's not looking at that one, Tim. I know it's a great video, Tim. It's brilliant, and he would understand this and that, but he's a fucking moron. It's understandable. I was him once. I don't know. Okay, right, we're about to. It's just water, but notice like this. Here, it has these like tier things that are rounded. It literally looks like one of the stones, like not quite where it has that to it, but just generally speaking, like say that one. That's not the best example. It doesn't have. Maybe the ones on the ground might be more. Essentially, it's different scales of the same thing occurring, where sometimes it's clear and apparent because the shape has formed. Other times it's subtle, so it's just like this thin sheet that has like boundaries to it because a current flowed along those boundaries to a degree where it formed like an actual, like when the rock broke, that's where it broke, kind of weak point. And also shaped it in a way where they tend to have shapes that like approach an ammonite shape at times but aren't. Okay, let's go to the end here though, because this thing, I'm just looking at this like, huh, I don't know what to make of this. Bunch of circles with polygonal boundaries, maybe a little more circular ring. Oh, it makes me think of Mount Gurnar. Oh my god, it makes me think of Mount Gurnar. Because we're about to see the other side of the stone. Which is why I hit record. Okay, so I'm just kind of taking a peek at this side. Notice there's like, sometimes there's a dark inside the light. Sometimes the light, like here, maybe it looks like it's coming in there, but barely. Other times it's came in and physically severed the connection from this end to that end when it was connected more like this, but it just opened enough, and then I don't know exactly what's going on here, but let's just go to the other side because it seems like there's a current that's basically from the other side of the stone emitting through the stone and then like bubbling up like a volcano maybe, or kind of thing. And then also, and like Gurnar has granophyre rings. Maybe I'll just pull it up. This, it makes me think of this. Mind you, Gurnar looks like this according to scientific papers, where the moho is physically down below it, and then it looks like this. Which kind of looks like an ammonite, I would say. I don't know. that maybe had some sort of like from the Ammonite region upward projection that maybe created this. I'm just contemplating this granophyre ring now in terms of if it had any, because certainly there's a vortex going on here. I'm wondering if it like created an ammonite in this way. So we're gonna flip this rock over now. Let's go. Pardon me. Okay. Let's just look at it a second. So science says that these are all living creatures that were fossilized. The end. And I'm saying that these are induced by currents, and they're not fossilized creatures at all. They're literally geological features. There were no creatures. They're formed by processes that are much more fundamental, like the building blocks of the nature of reality revealed in what's going on here if we see it from a different angle rather than fossils from the angle of what it actually is, which is formed by the earth. So when I see like groups of them, it's not just arbitrarily arranged. I look at it and say, is it possible to interpret this through the lens that there's currents flowing, and is there something distinguishable here that I can kind of pick up on? So like for instance, this one, let's say this is a current that's going from here inward, which I talked about in my last video, how it's like a drain. So it's draining some energy, a current that drains through a point, leads to a structure over time that literally is this, depending on the degree of drainage. Sometimes it's more subtle. This one is sideways, interesting. But so let's just essentially follow that. If it goes this way inward, and then this one goes that way inward, then interestingly, this one is going, a current is going this way at this point, at adjacent here. So they're basically going together. And so they're physically adjacent one another, like connected. They're not repelling one another. Like if this flow is coming in this way, it's gonna basically come more head on, where over here they basically merge. So it's able to flow together, relatively speaking, in this region. That kind of thing is what we're looking for. So if we, that's just an example, but if we look around, like over here, this is going in, so it's spiraling counterclockwise. So this one, spiraling clockwise, is doing the same thing. So that's like a good sign that, like, essentially, if these are caused by currents, there really shouldn't be, quote, anomalies in terms of like unexplainable by currents. Yes, anomalies in terms of things that at first glance seem as if they're counter to the line of reasoning. That's to be expected. But if they're caused by currents, it should truly, like, I acknowledge it should be able to flow together in a way where it is represented in the actual, like, how they are frozen in time. And we can look and analyze it through that lens. And if they're just fossils, then it just simply will not do that. That's a fair assessment, right? Like their alignments would be like more random, like this way and this way would be just as frequent as this one going this way, but also directly connected. So these are directly connected going the opposite direction. So again, they flow in the same direction here, even though the overall rotation is opposite. Their current flowing around them is the same directionally here, so it actually works out. Okay, let's just keep looking. Let's keep looking. So this is interesting, right? If we follow here, this is going this way, inward into the stone, and then this is going in this way into the stone. So I guess like this current is running into a resistance, presumably from this way, that causes it to bend and then flow with it, but then spiral in. People are like, what in the... Gotta consider it, dudes. Here, this is going this way. This is going this way, so that's actually opposite. Like that would be pretty anomalous. Although they are small. So like it's possible that based on their sizes, they're less dominant, so more like pushed in position by larger systems boundaries that are maybe not even necessarily like the actual boundary here, but the boundary of the currents that are flowing involved in the system that essentially lead to stability points where the other systems just end up being. Let's keep going. Let's make it a little more zoomed out. Oh, okay. I gotta go back. I gotta put it on this speed. So I was looking, like, is it possible there's a current that generally flowed this way through here, like all the way across? Although this looks like it's going the opposite. So maybe, oh my god, it goes in here, runs into resistance, and like swirls in an ammonite shape of ammonites. Oh my god, it totally is doing something like that. I would like to see bigger. Not that this is incredible, but like I'm sure we have. I need to really look at the full spectrum of this type of thing that's available online. Just. Like it looks like it has a space where a larger current was flowing, like out here. A space that maybe came in here and then another, like, maybe there's two, like, doing this kind of thing, actually. Flowing this way to here and then flowing, or, I don't know. It's hard to see without, like, the perfect angle of what I'm... Holy... The way that is, this really just looks like a, almost like a mud. I don't know. It literally looks like mud. That is incredible. I muted myself. I don't know how long that was. Probably at least a minute or two. Fuck. I was just saying that maybe it's like galactic, and this is like the nucleus right here. And then it has like spiral arms that are like little stars, like literally. And then this is like the space between the arms. And then these are more like, wow, they are like full blown ammonite shapes. I was thinking they might be like half of an ammonite, like only like this chunk right here, kind of thing. Whoa. There it is. I was trying to find where I was looking at. There it is. These are like flat. This one's kind of, these are like angled to the side, sloping inward. That's kind of interesting. And then it's got a ring kind of thing around it. It really does look like it maybe has extending arms. I don't know if that's the only such point that has that happening. Like maybe it's happening all over the place, and these are creating like polygonal boundaries. Let's look at the other side again. feel like this is related. Like, it's actually flowing through. Maybe I should take a picture. Let's go to the other side. I need the full thing, but not that one. I know he showed it full. Maybe there. Okay, I'm gonna take a picture. Here we go. Come on, zoom out. Not in. Fuck. Closer, close. Crap. Okay, maybe I should just play a little faster. I don't want to go past it. I know he has a good zoom out picture. I really want to compare it, like actually, which would be great with a zoom out picture. Here we go, here we go. The top low. Okay, I'll get most of it. I just wanted to check it. If it's either the top or the bottom. I'll just do that, that's fine. Okay. Here we go. Oops. I was preparing. I was preparing. Okay, here we go. I want to see here, for instance. Okay. It's backwards, so like trying to find some kind of pinpointing location. This is interesting. I wonder if that's like here. Maybe there, maybe that. Okay, let's get this as small as we can. Okay, so this is about here. And pretty much here to here to here. So this is maybe up this way. Let me just like vaguely draw like that thing and this thing as like a reference point where that maybe is. Okay, and then that's interesting that this really white one is over like this really dark one. I'm not sure, or that wasn't even the right one. I just looked over. I think it was this one that I was looking at. I think it's over that one. This here. Below, like opposite to. There's so much potential. Oh my god. To just study this. Just under the interpretation of these, like there's generally current flowing on this layer that's literally spiraling and going through adjacent layers at like pore points that are then inducing actual shapes behind them that are galactic fractally and show chemistry, energetic bonds in ways that I don't understand, but like feel like it's present here if we look, and then it can be more comprehensible. This one maybe is here. I don't know. Maybe this is related to here. Looks like it's got like steps. Like this was also kind of having that kind of effect. I don't know. Kind of, that kind of bunch of layers that are just being shaped. It's literally drainage points. Oh, I had so many thoughts when I was watching this. Maybe I should at least get back to looking at it for the current potentials. Going around this clockwise, also clockwise, but in this case, spaced. The system between it, even. Also clockwise, also spaced. Also clockwise, also spaced. Clockwise, spaced. Clockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise, closer. Counterclockwise, but close to this one too. Counterclockwise, clockwise, clockwise, clockwise. That's interesting. That almost looks like both. Let's check out that one that looks like both. Oh, I think it was this one. I'm not sure. It was just a layer. That's interesting that there's like literally ones behind it. Like draining through, creating a larger one, and then a larger one, perhaps. Stacking them. Sometimes the stacking goes sideways. Sometimes whatever happened here at the center of it all happens. Well, I guess basket is March Madness time, I think. Okay, so that was just some thoughts I had. Alright, thanks for hanging out. Hope that was interesting. Yeah. Obviously, there's a lot to look into, but it certainly can't be just arbitrarily denied, given the evidence that I've pointed to. Anyway, peace. Whatever. I don't care. I always try to fucking, you won't listen to me. Whatever.